ask the foreperson to please stand. Juror 5. And have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have.
Was it unanimous?
Yes, it was.
Has a verdict been filed in or filled in and signed and dated by you?
Yes, it has.
And if you would please hand the verdict to Deputy Solomon. Thank you, Deputy.
Does she look nervous? I mean, she looks a little nervous. We do have it sped up slightly, but she does look a little
Solomon for
nervous.
handing that up.
I hope she's shitting her pants. Her face is pink.
I'm going to ask counsel to approach and take a look at the verdict form.
Me too. Stop being me too. Honestly, though, even for anyone, this has got to be probably this moment right here is the most nerve-wracking portion of a trial. Just not knowing what it's going to be, but good. I'm glad it's nerve-wracking for her. For others, I don't know. Heavy breathing around her collarbone. I see that too.
As to the verdict, it reads as
Okay, let me slow it. Sorry, I wanted to make sure we listen to this on normal speed.
follows. We, the jury, find as follows: malice murder. We find the defendant guilty.
Yes!
Count 2, felony murder.
Don't
We
look
find the
confused,
defendant
bitch.
guilty.
Oh.
Count 3, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 4, concealing the death of another. We find the defendant guilty. Count 5, false report of a crime.
Guilty.
We find the defendant guilty. Count 6, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 7, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 8, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count
you guilty as
9, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 10, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 11, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 12, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 13, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 14, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 15, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 16, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 17, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Count 18, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. And count 19, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty. Okay. And is there anything further from the state?
Guilty on all charges. All of the charges.
From the defense? Certainly. So, members of the jury, this is something that very often happens. You will be asked questions by the clerk, 3 questions in particular, I believe, and simply answer the questions. Madam Clerk.
Juror number 1, was this your verdict then? Yes. Is this your verdict now? Yes. Juror number 2. Juror number 2. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 3. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Thank you. Juror number 4. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 5. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror
I don't
number
know
6.
why she ever
Was that your
thought
verdict
it
then?
was going to be
Yes.
Is
anything
this your
different.
verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 7. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 8. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 9. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 10. Was that your verdict then?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror number 11.
Yes.
Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Juror number 12. Was that your verdict then?
Yes.
Is this your verdict now?
Yes.
Anything further at this time with the juries?
No.
With the jurors. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service,
Thank you.
for your
Thank
time,
you.
for your
Thank
energy.
you for doing your job,
This has
jury.
been an important more than 2 weeks now that you've spent with the court, and your time and attention is deeply appreciated. I am going to release you. If
And
anyone
she's
wants to
working,
speak
but I
with you
messaged
about
her.
your deliberations and you
I didn't tell
want
her what it
to,
was.
you may do so now. You're being released from the instructions. You're not under any obligation to speak with anyone about your experience, but you may do so if you
Oh.
choose to.
Oh, poor lady.
I am ordering that there be no contact with the jurors in the courthouse or on the courthouse property.
Did you cry like
but I
that
do
when you
release
put
you
your
at this
baby in a
point.
dumpster?
Thank you. You're free to go.
Because you weren't crying like that, seeing all the evidence. he will not be forgotten, Millie. You remember it? Or no, it wasn't Millie who said that. My chat jumped too fast. SG. Yeah. I don't think. She's a very selfish individual.
All right, everyone may please have a seat. Sentencing will not occur at this time. It's going to be scheduled for another date. That date will be determined. And of course, if there's anything to be presented in aggravation or mitigation, I'll hear it at that time. All right. Is there anything further at this point from the state?
No, Your Honor.
From the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you as well for
Good job, Superman.
your service from the state as well as from the defense. And with that, we are adjourned.
It was a fair jury. She was tried by her peers. They put out all the evidence. That's all out there. Hey, Claus, did you go to this part of it? Were you there? I wasn't looking at the crowd to see if you were in there. There's definitely more people there today than there have been.